right, so today what we're going to be doing is making an art. This is pretty easy to make, and I know it looks pretty complicated, but I'm going to walk you through step by step so it's not so difficult. I did leave part of mine uncolored so I could show you the different coloring techniques. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's first get a new piece of paper. So this is my paper. I'm actually going to put it on something so that it doesn't blend in with the my desk here. Alright, so the first step you're going to do is actually just make just a wiggly line that goes from one edge of the paper all the way to the other side. So you have to make sure that it touches both edges of the paper. So that's the first step. The next step you're going to do is just make some dots along your line that you created, like that. Doesn't really matter how many dots you have. I wouldn't make them too close together. So I used a half sheet of paper for this assignment because it's just a lot. You could do this on a full sheet of paper, but I wanted to do it on a half sheet. So on my half sheet of paper, I have 5 dots. So if you have a longer sheet of paper, you'd probably have more than me. Okay, so the next step you're going to do is connect the dots together. Now you're not going to want to do a straight line. You're going to want to make sure that it's an arched line. So you're going to put your point of your pencil on your dot and arch it to the next dot over. And you're actually going to do it on the other side of the line too. So it's going to look like that. And you're going to go and do this all the way for every dot on your line, like this. So you have a paper that looks like this. So we're actually going to pretend like there is another dot somewhere along the line. So we're actually going to make one that goes off the page like this. And we're going to make one over here. Well, we can actually put another little dot there if we wanted to, I guess. But then we have to do one off the page here, like that. So that it's a nice continuation. So right now, this is what you're looking at. Alright? So that's pretty easy. So the next step we want to do is to kind of arch our way out to the edges of the paper. So you don't have to go in order. It can be in any way you want to, and I'll show you as I go. But there is one trick that is very, 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 very important, is that you always stick your pencil back in between the two that you're working on, and then you finish here. And I'll show you. So, you're just gonna start making arches, and then I'm gonna put it, if you can see it, I'm gonna put my pencil here between these two, and then I'm gonna end here between these two. So you don't want to make it look like a rainbow, and what I mean by a rainbow is you don't want to have your line like this and your little points on your line like this and make it look like a rainbow like this. See how it looks like a rainbow? We don't want that. You want to always come back to that point. So, it is a little time consuming. I like to kind of go back and forth on mine like this. And then, when I think there's enough there for right now, I'll just start another one. So like I'll maybe work on this one over here. And you can make them as, you know, a little bit fatter. They don't need to all be the same. And then maybe I'll come and do this one. And then anytime you go off the page, you need to make sure that you're finishing up that line. See how I made that little line there? Okay, so once you kind of get most of those out, and if you feel like these are too big, you can always go back and add some in between those lines. So it's not like you have to have those big gaps in there. And you can add as many as you want. So then for these little spots, I'm actually going to just fill in. Again, you're going to start in the place between the two that you're next to, and you're just going to keep going. And you're just going to keep filling it in. Fill it in. And maybe I'll come back to this one now since I have so many over here. Or maybe I should start this one. And it's really up to you where you start, and they're all gonna kind of look different. So that's how you do it, and you just keep going until you're finished. All right. So we're back, and I'm almost finished my whole paper now. I just have a little bit more to do. I just wanted to make sure that you guys remember that your starting point will always be between the last two, I don't know what to call them, humps, I suppose. I kind of like the technique of going back and forth instead of like lifting my pencil. I feel like I get sometimes thrown off if I lift my pencil too much. So it looks like I'm about finished right now. So I think it's time to color. So for my coloring on this one, I chose the complementary color scheme. So complementary colors are the colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So these are our regular colors on the color wheel. We have red, orange, yellow, and we have green, blue, and purple. Those are our rainbow colors, like that. So the colors, if you lay these out in a color wheel way, I guess, hopefully none of them will roll away. Oh, these two are mixed up. There we go. I'm more concerned about things rolling away than the order, I suppose. Okay, so here we are. Our complementary colors are the colors right across from each other on the color wheel. So we have purple and yellow, we have blue and orange, and then we have green and red. And those are our complementary colors. And that's how we got those. So that's the color scheme that I went with for these, because I just think they look nice together. So we can do that, or we can do a different color scheme. You could do warm and cold colors. You can do your favorite colors. Maybe I will do something different. Maybe I'll do cold and warm colors. That's kind of fun to do. So how I did these are, I started with the center one, and what I did was I went really dark on the outside of each little section. So I pushed a little bit harder with my color pencil, and then once I get and I didn't go straight across, I kind of made it look like it flared out a little bit. And then I did it a little bit softer with my pencil to kind of get a lighter shade of the purple. And then in the center, I just left it white, so it kind of looks like there's a bend. You'll see it better on here, so that you can see the bend, and it fades from a light into a dark. So then I just switched my colors. So this time I'm gonna do blue, and I'll do really dark in the corner here and over here. And then I'm gonna take it a little bit lighter. We're gonna fade it like that. and then I'll switch to a green. Again, push our color pencil a little bit harder in the corner, and then we're going to just kind of fade it out towards the center, and then the center will be a white, and then we're going to go back to purple, and we're going to just alternate the colors throughout this whole thing. You don't have to use this color scheme. You can do any color scheme you want to. You can do black and white. You can just use regular pencil if you wanted to do it. If you didn't have color pencils, you could just use a pencil. I wouldn't suggest using a marker with this, just because you can't get the different values. Value is when we go from a dark to a light. You could probably do it with a crayon if you pushed really hard with your crayon and then just took it really soft in the center, just like I'm doing with my color pencils. I just find it really easier to do things with color pencils, and there's so many colors. I have a whole bunch of different kits. Right now I'm using this, just the Crayola 24 kit, but I have a lot of different colors with color pencils. I have the 100 pack too, which is really, really fun because you have a lot of different choices. But you could do this with an 8 pack, really, because you just need a couple colors. You could just do 2 of your favorite colors or 3 of your favorite colors. And you're just going to take that and you're just going to keep going so that it goes all the way to the edge of your paper. And I changed my patterns every different, like, blob or whatever you want to call it. So that is how you do this op art. They end up looking really, really nice, and it's pretty simple for as cool as it looks. It's really not that difficult if you you know, take the time and color nice and make your lines look nice. So that's this op art lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys had fun doing it. So until next time, this is Art with Stevic. Bye.